Hello friends, today we will be doing revision of this chapter called section 269 SS, 269T, 269ST and section 269U. Now the title of this chapter is very big, chapter 20B, requirement as to mode of acceptance and the mode of repayment of loan, deposit or specified sum or specified advance. No need to remember big name, simply remember 4 section numbers. Now first section 269 SS is in association with 269T. This chapter contains 4 types of requirements, and for failure to comply with these requirements, there are 4 sections for penalty. 4 requirements, if there is default in complying with the requirements, 4 types of penalty. 269 SS and 269T are in connection with mode of acceptance of loan or deposit. They are applicable to all persons. All the 4 sections are applicable to all 4 persons. I mean everyone, individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, company, partnership, firm, LLP, and they are applicable for not only commercial purpose transaction, they are applicable for personal purpose transaction also. Everywhere there are exceptions. 4 sections talking about 4 types of requirements. Within them there are exceptions, and within them there are 4 sections for penalty, which will be repeated in penalty chapter as well. Starting with the very first section 269 SS, it talks about loan or deposit. It says that no person shall take or accept loan or deposit in cash if the amount is 20,000 or more than 20,000. This is a simple meaning, but the sentence is not like that. The provision is not like that. The legal provision is slightly different. Ideologically, nobody should take loan or deposit in cash if the amount is 20,000 or more than 20,000. If the amount is up to 19,999, cash transaction is absolutely fine. But if the amount touches 20,000 or it exceeds 20,000, then this requirement will be applicable. 269 SS imposes restriction on taking, accepting loan deposit. 269T applies on repayment of loan or deposit. But this 20,000 amount, which is applicable for both the sections, they are applicable per person. That means I can take up to 19,999, I can accept loan or I can repay loan if the transaction is with different parties. With Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, Mr. D, with everyone I can have 19,999 of transaction. These are not the yearly limits, second point. These are not the yearly limits, these are the limits at any given point of time. So, the way we could breach 40A3 in PGBP chapter, 40A3 has a cash payment transaction of paying cash for expenditure of more than 10,000. But section 40A3 could very easily be circumvented by splitting up the transactions on different dates. 40A3, 10,000 was a daily limit. I could split payments into different parts. If I have to pay you 9 lakh rupees in cash, I could pay for expenses. I can pay 9,000 rupees per day into 100 days. Each day not exceeding 10,000, 40A3 would not apply. So and so cannot be done for 269 SS and 269T because here the limits are not daily limits. Here the limits are at any given point of time. Now originally these 2 sections were introduced for only loan and deposit. Gradually government found that people enter into some other transaction also. So one more type of transaction is also covered. What is it? I will tell you. Before that, why these 2 sections were introduced? They were introduced somewhere in 1968, long back. The idea is that if anybody during the search, income tax raid, income tax search is caught red-handed with some cash, which is definitely reflecting unaccounted money, black money, that amount should be not only be subjected to tax, there should be heavy penalty also because person is caught red-handed. But the person could easily escape paying tax and penalty both. One could easily escape by claiming it to be not income, but by claiming it to be loan or deposit put by somebody. Taken from friends and relatives. Somebody is caught red-handed with 5 crore rupees and he says I have borrowed money, loan taken in cash, and loan is not an income. He could easily escape tax as well as penalty. This kind of scenario had happened long back during some Bollywood actor, female actor Vaijayanti Mala's place where the search was conducted. Accordingly, department found itself totally handicapped that they could not do anything even though the assessee was caught red-handed with some huge cash. So to counteract with this situation, government imposed these 2 sections that nobody shall take or accept, nobody shall repay in cash. If the amount is small, it's fine. Small amount means up to 19,999, which is not a daily limit or a yearly limit. It is a limit at any given point of time. If the transaction amount is more 20,000 or more than 20,000, it should be by way of account payee check, account payee draft, electronic clearing services ECS through a bank, or through prescribed electronic mode. Well, what I do is that I call them as account payee check APD, APC, account payee draft APD, electronic clearing system ECS through bank, or prescribed electronic mode, I call it as PEM. If the transaction is through these 4 ways or these 4 modes, then it's fine. Any other mode other than these 4 is not acceptable. It will be a punishable offense. There will be penalty. Penalty will be equal to the amount of transaction for which the limit of 19,999 is breached. That is 20,000 or 20,000 touched. For example, if I take a loan of 25,000 from you, in cash, entire 25,000 will be levied as a penalty. Of course, section is applicable when the person is caught. If not caught, then it's okay, no problem, nobody will come to know. There are many people who carry out cash transactions on a daily basis, regular basis, but they are not caught, and government is also not interested in catching small people. So idea is to capture those people who are caught with huge amount of cash. But in exam, you only are the assessing officer. So starting with this chapter, very first section is 269 SS. All of them are applicable to all persons, individual, HUF, AOP, BOI. This is on, it says no person shall take or accept. No person shall take or accept loan or deposit. Loan or deposit. Then government introduced one more word. Initially section was only for loan or deposit. Then government got to know that people are those who are caught red-handed with cash, huge cash, they are again escaping by not calling it as income, not calling it as loan, not even calling it as deposit. They would call it as advance taken or token amount taken for sale of immovable property, whereby immovable property would not ultimately be transferred, but just because they are caught with cash, they will raise this story. So government covered that also. Advance taken for transfer of immovable property, but government called it as specified sum. Specified sum, I will call it as SS. No person shall take or accept loan, deposit or specified sum from any person, otherwise by way of account payee check, otherwise by way of account payee check, account payee draft, ECS or through prescribed electronic modes. Then government clarified in some rule 119 AA that prescribed electronic mode would mean 3 things. Mobile wallets, ideally, UPI payment, Bhim UPI, that is Bharat Interface for Money, Unified Payment Interface, or UPI QR code, Quick Response Code, or debit card powered by RuPay. Okay. And then account pay check, account pay draft, you know pretty well what is it. Meaning thereby transaction should not be by way of cash, should not be by way of bearer check, should not be by way of cross check, which is not an account pay check. Only cross check is also not fine. Cash not fine, bearer check not fine, and cross check not fine. Okay, otherwise by way of so and so, if the amount is 20,000 or more than 20,000, but whose amount should be 20,000 or more? Otherwise, if there is a violation, there will be penalty under section 271D. Penalty will be equal to the loan amount. Penalty will be equal to the amount of entire amount of loan, deposit or specified sum. Okay, what should be 20,000 or more than 20,000? Then this section is applicable. So answer 3 things, any of the 3 things. Either the fresh amount of loan, fresh loan amount. If I am taking loan from you for the first time, I have never taken from you, then if the fresh loan amount is 20,000 or more, or just like 40A3, if I try to violate it, I try taking from you 15,000 on day 1 and another 15,000 after few days. I split it up into 2 parts, 15, 15, total 30, that is also not fine. It says as on the date of taking fresh loan, if outstanding loan amount or deposit or specified sum, outstanding amount is 20,000 or more. Outstanding amount is always to be checked along with interest as on that day, whether repayment has fallen due or not. Fresh amount is 20,000 or more. If fresh amount is 1,000, 2,000, but outstanding from the same person is 20,000 or more along with interest, or height, this is 1, this is 2, it says 1 plus 2 is 20,000 or more. That means fresh plus outstanding. So if I take 3,000, I have taken 15,000 loan from you earlier in cash. What was the mode of earlier transaction? That is immaterial. Fresh loan is 10,000. Fresh is also less than 20. Outstanding along with interest is also less than 20. But fresh plus outstanding combined together is 25,000. Section will be attracted. Section will be attracted means what? Means the further transaction, earlier transaction could have been by any mode. Further transaction, that is fresh loan amount, should be compulsorily be by way of account paid check, account paid draft, ECS or prescribed electronic mode. Otherwise, penalty will be levied. However, in such situation, how much will be the penalty under section 271DA? Sorry, 271D, I have already written here. Penalty will be equal to the amount of loan or deposit or specified sum. But which loan or amount? In this transaction, the penalty I have violated if I take it in cash, but penalty will be equal to the loan amount, but for that much loan amount because of which section is violated. Because of which section is violated means not the earlier loan. Earlier loan when I took from you, at that time I did not violate. I am violating it now. So amount of loan because of which the section is violated is only 10,000. Penalty will be 10,000. Okay. And there are few exceptions. There are 5 exceptions to this section where this section, the requirement of this section will not apply. It says when the loan or deposit or specified sum is taken from or taken by, both the way transaction, taken from or taken by, from or by 5 people, government company, government company, statutory corporation, any bank, or a situation where lender and borrower both are farmers, both are agriculturists. Ideally, bank you should remember, but transaction both the way, meaning thereby you take loan from bank, you have taken from bank, no problem, 269SS will not apply, you take as much as you want to in cash, no problem. Or deposit is accepted by bank, you have put FD with the bank, you put FD with bank or you take loan from bank, both the way transaction can be in cash even if it exceeds 20,000 or even if it exceeds 19,999. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen? There will be penalty. However, in penalties chapter, we will discuss one section, section 273B, which says that if there is a reasonable cause, then no penalty. If there is a reasonable cause for the violation, then penalty will not be levied. But what is a reasonable cause or whether the given cause is reasonable or not, that is difficult to decide. That will be decided by court if AO does not accept it. Many a times there is some medical emergency, one had to borrow in cash from neighbor, then it's fine. That can be considered as a reasonable cause. But what is reasonable, that is a matter of doubt or that cannot be pre-decided, court will decide. Okay, so 3 points. Number 1, what is the section saying? Number 2, if defaulted then what will happen? Number 3, exceptions. 3 points for both the section 269SS, 269T. As far as penalty is concerned for 269SS violation, penalty under 271D, that is something you need to understand. So, I will give you 6 examples to make you understand the penalty concept. In this chapter, there are 4 plus 4, 8 sections. Out of them, the first section is a time consuming, remaining all will be straightforward. Okay. So, 269SS says that no person shall take or accept loan, deposit or specified sum from any person, no person from any person, otherwise by way of account paid check, account paid draft or ECS or through other prescribed electronic mode if, understand very clearly, and prescribed electronic mode means RuPay card, RuPay debit card, Bheem UPI, UPI QR code. If the amount of such loan, deposit or specified sum, that means fresh amount is 20,000 or more, or as on the date of taking, accepting loan, deposit or specified sum, if any loan, deposit, specified sum was already taken from the same person and is outstanding, already taken, if it is repaid then outstanding is 0 or below 20, then no problem. If the outstanding amount along with interest, outstanding means remaining unpaid, along with interest, together with interest is 20,000 or more, outstanding along with interest is 20,000 or more, and number 3, 1 plus 2 combined together, that is fresh plus outstanding and interest combined together is 20,000 or more. So, let me give you the same example, 15,000 I had taken from you earlier, now I am taking 10,000, fresh loan is also below 20, outstanding is also below 20, but combined together is 25,000, section will be attracted. it does not, this section simply says if this is what happens, then fresh loan has to be by way of account pay check, account pay draft, etc. If it is not by way of account pay check, account pay draft, then penalty will be levied. In simple language, fresh plus, so fresh amount is 20,000 or more, outstanding including interest is 20,000 or more, fresh plus outstanding is 20,000 or more. Default will attract penalty under 271D, which will be equal to the entire amount of loan, deposit or specified sum. But that amount of loan or specified sum or deposit because of which section is violated. Penalty will be on the person who who took or accepted loan deposit. If I take from you, penalty will be on me, not on you, nothing will happen to you. Okay, 6 examples for penalty. First example, I take only one loan from you, straight away 25,000. Full 25,000, section is violated, entire amount will be levied as a penalty. Remember one thing, penalty will be levied only if, penalty can be levied only if two conditions are satisfied. The amount is 20,000 or more, amount of what? Amount of fresh loan, fresh deposit, fresh specified sum or outstanding along with interest, or fresh plus outstanding. Amount is 20,000 or more, and second condition, the mode of acceptance is otherwise by way of account pay check, draft or ECS. Both the conditions are satisfied, then only penalty will be applicable. Penalty will be charged then. If this condition is satisfied, amount is more than 20, but it is taken by account pay check, account pay draft, then penalty will not be levied. Other way around, if I take it in cash, mode of acceptance is otherwise by way of account pay check, draft, ECS. But if I take less than 20,000, fresh, outstanding, fresh plus outstanding, everything, all three amounts are below 20,000, then penalty cannot be levied even if I take it by cash. Meaning thereby penalty can be levied only if both the conditions are satisfied, amount is 20 or more than 20, plus mode of acceptance is otherwise by way of account pay check, draft, ECS. Just remember this condition, this is the crux of this section. If you understand this, then you will understand the whole section. 6 examples quickly. If I take 25,000 cash loan, 25,000 will be penalty. If I take first loan and second loan, if I take first loan 19,000 in cash, no penalty at the time of taking first loan. Why? Because though I took it in cash, the condition with regards to mode of acceptance is violated. This I have breached. This condition is fulfilled. But amount related condition is not fulfilled because amount is just 19,000. When I took first loan from you, no penalty. But when I take second loan from you, the amount is 6,000 and in cash, both the conditions are fulfilled. Amount is also 20 or more than 20. Not 6,000. Any of the three. Either fresh is 6,000 which is below 20. Outstanding plus interest which is 19,000 which is also below 20. Fresh plus outstanding is 25. Therefore, amount related condition is breached. Mode of acceptance is by cash. That condition is also satisfied. Penalty will be levied. But how much? Answer, penalty will not be 25,000. Penalty will be only 6,000. First transaction of loan will not attract any penalty. Only second transaction of loan. Section is violated or breached because of second loan, not because of first loan. Okay. Now, third and the fourth example are continuation of second example or little variation in the second example. Second example, both the loans were in cash. First loan also cash, second loan also by way of cash. In the third example, what I am doing is first loan is by way of account pay check, second loan is by way of cash. But first loan is 19,000. At that time, amount is also less than 20 and the mode of acceptance is not by way of cash, etc. None of the conditions are satisfied, no penalty at the time of first loan. But at the time of accepting second loan, 6,000, the amount condition is also satisfied and the mode of acceptance condition is also satisfied. Second loan is in cash and the total amount is 25. Therefore, penalty will be levied. But penalty will be 6,000 equal to second loan amount or equal to that much loan amount because of which section is violated. Because of first loan, section was not violated. Section is getting violated at the time of accepting second loan. Section is applicable for all three: loan, deposit, specified sum, though I may take examples of only loan. However, class C is the fourth example where first loan is taken in cash, second is taken by way of account pay check. Now what will happen, understand very clearly. When the first loan is taken, amount is fresh, outstanding, fresh plus outstanding, all three are below 20,000. Amount related condition is not satisfied. Mode of acceptance is cash, so mode related condition is satisfied, but penalty will not be levied because both the conditions have to be satisfied. But when the second loan is taken, at that time amount related condition is breached or satisfied, but mode of acceptance is account payee check. Therefore, mode related condition is not satisfied, no penalty. Penalty will be 0. Conclusion of the story is that from example number 2, 3 and 4 is that earlier loan, for earlier loan check only the amount. Do not check the mode of acceptance. Mode of acceptance is in cash, second example by account payee check, third example again cash. Makes no difference. Penalty will be levied or not, that does not depend upon mode of acceptance of the earlier loan. Penalty will be levied or not, that purely depends upon the mode of acceptance of the current loan, fresh loan. Fifth example, now what is happening is I am bringing into picture interest also. Fifth and sixth, last two examples. Fifth illustration, first loan I am taking 15,000 in cash. Amount related condition is not violated because amount is below 20. But mode of acceptance related condition is violated because I am taking it in cash. One condition is not breached, second condition is satisfied. Then in that case penalty will not be levied. But before I take the second loan, there is interest of 3,000. Total has become 18, still below 20. But now I am taking second loan of 4,000 in cash. So when I took second loan, the total became 22. Fresh plus outstanding plus interest became 22. So amount related condition is breached and mode of acceptance related condition is cash, that is also satisfied. Both the conditions satisfied, penalty will be levied. But here penalty will be equal to second loan amount 4,000 only. Penalty will not be with regards to interest. Interest amount can never be levied as a penalty, and here amount of 20,000 is not even touched because of interest. So the class C is the sixth example. I took first loan first. Here what happened was first loan, then interest, then second loan. Here what I am doing in sixth example, first loan, then second loan, thereafter interest comes up in the picture. Now understand, first loan I took it in cash, 15,000. Amount condition is not violated, amount is below 20, but mode of acceptance related condition is violated because both the conditions are not satisfied, therefore penalty will not be there. Second transaction, loan amount is 4,000, below 20, total is 19, again below 20, mode is cash, 19,000, therefore amount related condition is not satisfied, mode related condition is satisfied. Penalty will not be levied. Penalty will not be levied. But now interest accrues, penalty cannot be levied because of interest element, only interest element, meaning thereby section cannot be violated or section never gets violated because of interest accruing 3,000, because section is putting prohibition or restriction on the person in taking accepting loan. Am I taking accepting any loan here? No, I am not taking. Interest, there is no prohibition. Understand very clearly, prohibition is on taking or accepting loan or deposit. Only interest is accruing, that does not result into any kind of violation, and that is not even in my hand, that is not even in the hands. Okay, who will be levied with a penalty? Person who is taking accepting loan deposit. Okay, there are some exceptions, 5 exceptions as I said. No violation if loan deposit taken or accepted from or by government, government company, statutory corporation, any bank, any institution notified by government, and last, lender and borrower. Lender and borrower both are pharmacists, both are farmers, not pharmacists, sorry, slip of tongue, farmers, agriculturists. Okay, some points to be noted. Clarification, what is specified sum? Specified sum means advance taken by any name called as to transfer immovable property, whether ultimately transfer takes place or does not take place. So even if transfer ultimately takes place, it's a genuine transaction, then also this restriction will be applicable. Instead of 20,000, the amount shall be replaced by 2 lakh in case if the transaction is between members and primary agricultural credit society or primary cooperative agricultural and rural development bank, PCAD bank or PACS. This way or this way, meaning thereby these people are accepting deposit from members, then section, then limit will be 2 lakh. These people are not considered as bank. Bank is an exception. Bank is an exception, but this is not a bank. PAX and PCARD are not bank. So when they deal with their members, section will be attracted, but with a higher limit. Instead of 20,000, limit will be 2 lakh. Or vice versa, member takes a loan from them. Member takes a loan or member puts deposit. They accept deposit in cash, no problem. Limit will be 2 lakh. Okay. Now 273B, which we already discussed, supported by Supreme Court decision also. Apex Court means Supreme Court, saying that if there is a reasonable cause, then no penalty. Okay. Now, section 68, unexplained cash credit. We had discussed one point relating to that. According to section 68, if you recollect, while discussing chapter 12, special rates of tax chapter, we had discussed one section 115 BBE, whereby 60% flat tax rate is attracted on incomes covered by section 68, 69, 69 ABCD, which are all undisclosed income. Unexplained investments, unexplained cash credit, unexplained money bullion jewelry not fully disclosed, unexplained expenditure, and last one is acceptance or repayment, borrowing or repayment on hundi, otherwise by way of account pay check, account pay draft. So if it is section 68, unexplained cash credit, then in one of the cases, what happened, understand with example, in the books of accounts of Mr. X is the assessee, he says he has taken cash loan 50,000, he has taken loan from Mr. Y in cash, loan taken. So in books of accounts of Mr. X, he will create cash bank account, he will create Mr. Y's loan account. Cash is coming in, so cash account debit to Mr. Y, and Y's loan account, cash will be credited. So whenever cash is credited in the books of accounts of assessee, AO can question him, AO can ask for an explanation. Assessee unable to provide satisfactory explanation with regards to source of this cash credited in the books of accounts, then according to section 68, entire 50,000 in this example can be treated as income under section 68 of the Income Tax Act as unexplained cash credit, and can be charged to tax under IFOS, but will be taxed at 60% flat rate given in 115 BBE plus 25% compulsory surcharge plus health and education cess. Effective rate will be 78%. If you recollect, we had discussed it. Okay, so whether that rate can be applied or not. So answer, yes, possible. If assessee unable to satisfy AO about the identity of Mr. Y or about the genuineness of this transaction. But in one of the cases, what happened, since it was cash loan exceeding 20,000, AO applied section 68 also because it was unexplained, and AO added 50,000 to the income of assessee and applied 78% tax rate, plus AO invoked penalty under 271D for accepting cash loan of 20,000 or more. Whether both can be levied or not, so matter went up to the court. Court said that both cannot be applied together. Section 68 and 271D read with 269 SS are mutually exclusive. Both cannot coexist. Why? Because in order to attract section 68, it should be unexplained. And if it is unexplained, according to AO, then it cannot be loan. Then it is not a loan. Not a loan, then in that case, penalty cannot be levied under 271D. And if AO, that means if this is applied, this cannot be applied. If it is unexplained, it cannot be loan. And if AO agrees that it is loan and wants to invoke 271D, then if AO accepts that it is a loan, then it cannot be considered as unexplained. Therefore, both are mutually exclusive. Okay, we have a question based on this, one of the past exam questions. Both cannot be applied together. Okay, then there was one matter with regards to IPO, which is unimportant, which is not possible in today's world, so I am ignoring it. Then next, we had taken one case law, Muthoot Financier, Delhi High Court, saying that dealings between firm and the partner, firm includes LLP also, firm has given loan to partner or vice versa, partner has given loan to firm, then in such situation, 269 SS and T will not apply because both are ultimately one and the same. Transaction between firm and partner cannot be subjected to 269 SS, Delhi High Court. Similarly, instead of giving loan to partner, one of the partner A out of 3 partner was running his own sole proprietary concern SPC, in the name of Messrs A Enterprise, and firm gave loan to sole proprietary concern of the partner. Then Madras High Court in one of the cases stated that this will also be regarded as loan given by firm to partner, though it is given to partner sole proprietary concern. Accordingly, Madras High Court 2013, Madras High Court stated this transaction also will not be subjected to 269 SS. 269T, no person shall repay. This is on repayment. No person shall repay loan, deposit or specified advance. Now here, same specified sum is called by the name of specified advance. Loan, deposit or specified advance, nobody shall repay otherwise by way of account pay check, account pay draft or ECS through bank or prescribed electronic mode. Account pay check, account pay draft, ECS through a bank and prescribed electronic mode. And prescribed electronic mode would mean same RuPay powered debit card, Bheem UPI, UPI QR code. No need to remember. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen if anybody repays? But when is this section applicable? Answer: this section is applicable if transaction is in cash and the amount involved is 20,000 or more than 20,000. In 269 SS, we had to check the amount of fresh loan, outstanding plus interest as on the date of taking fresh loan, and fresh plus outstanding including interest. Everything had to be checked. Here also same, amount repaid is 20,000 or more, amount outstanding before repayment is 20,000 or more, or the specified advance is same as advance taken for immovable property. Specified advance received up till now is 20,000 or more. Any of the following three is 20,000 or more. Which three? As far as first point is concerned, it applies to all three: loan, deposit or specified advance. Any of the three which is repaid together with interest. Repaid, repayment amount along with interest is 20,000 or more, section is attracted. Or second point is only for loan and deposit. Loan or deposit remaining unpaid, that means outstanding along with interest. Amount repaid is 20,000 or more. Second, outstanding along with interest before repayment. Outstanding before repayment is 20,000 or more. Fresh amount, current amount is 20,000 or more. Outstanding plus interest is 20,000 or more. Or as far as specified advances are concerned, whatever amount is received till now, whether received in the name of assessee's own name or jointly with any other person, total amount received till now is 20,000 or more. So, as far as loan deposit is concerned, loan and deposit, point number 1 is applicable and point number 2 is applicable. But for specified advance, point number 1 is applicable and point number 3 is applicable. Loan and deposit, amount repaid is 20,000 or more, amount outstanding before repayment is 20,000 or more. For specified advance, amount repaid is 20,000 or more, amount received till now is 20,000 or more. That is the difference. Otherwise, what will happen? Penalty will be levied under section 271E. The penalty will be on the person who is repaying. If I took 25,000 from you and so penalty was on me under 271D. Now I only am repaying back to you. Penalty this under this section will also be on me. Penalty will be equivalent to principal amount of loan, deposit or specified advance repaid in violation of 269T. So understand, if I took 18,000 from you loan, while taking I could take it by cash or any mode. By what mode I took it, that is immaterial because amount is less than 20. However, this is principal amount, interest is 3,000. Total became 21,000 and now I took in cash, I am repaying also to you in cash. If I am caught, penalty will be levied. However, because both the conditions are satisfied, amount related condition is also satisfied because amount repaid is 20,000 or more and mode of repayment related condition is also satisfied, I am repaying it in cash. Both the conditions are satisfied, penalty will be attracted. But penalty amount here will be equal to loan amount. Loan amount is only 18,000 and not 21,000. I am repaying 21,000. The figure which is to be compared with the threshold limit of 20,000 is also this, whatever I am repaying. But penalty will not be equal to amount repaid. It very clearly says, it does not say penalty will be equivalent to amount repaid. It says penalty will be equal to amount of loan, deposit or specified advance, which means principal amount, which is 18,000. Penalty will be on the same person who repaid. So if I take and I repay, both the penalties are directed against the same person. However, by way of some case laws, we have clarification, no cumulative penalty, meaning thereby, if I am already been subjected to this penalty while accepting 25,000 in cash, then same 25 if I repay back to you, I cannot be subjected to the penalty on the same loan amount. Otherwise, for 25,000 of loan amount, same person is subjected to penalty 50,000 twice. Exceptions, here only one side exception. For 269 SS, it was loan deposit specified sum taken or accepted by or taken or accepted from. But here repayment is of loan taken accepted from government, government corporation, government company, statutory corporation, any bank or any other institution as may be notified by central government. Remember only bank, rest all unimportant. However, also remember only banks are covered in the exception, NBFCs are not covered. In exam, institute asked one question where the person taking accepting deposit was NBFC. NBFC is not one of the exception, only bank. Specified advance shall have the same meaning what we discussed earlier in 269 SS for specified sum. So specified sum and specified advance are one and the same, but in two different sections government has used slightly a different language. Instead of 20,000 for repayment, limit will be 2 lakh in case where the transaction is between members and PAX or member and P-card bank. This is unimportant totally, don't try to waste your energy. Member repaying back to primary agricultural credit society or primary cooperative agricultural and rural development bank P-card. Okay, then in such situation, or these people repaying back to member for deposit put by member, then limit will be 2 lakh rupees instead of 20,000. I am not saying section will not apply, section will apply but with a modified limit. Okay, then Bombay High Court decision of Triumph International. Okay, if you recollect 40A3, cash expenditure exceeding 10,000 in one single day, sometimes 35,000. This is single day limit for single person, agreed. Here rule 6DD, there were 11 exceptions. One of the exception, if you recollect PGBP chapter, one of the exception out of 11 was payment by way of book entry or journal entry. So for 40A3, transaction by way of book entry, journal entry, squaring off against each other, that was one of the exception. So and so is not the exception outed here in 269 SS and 269T. So in case of Triumph International, they squared off the loan, they had to pay 12 lakh rupees to somebody and they had to receive 10 lakh rupees from somebody, from the same person. Rather than paying 12 and receiving 10, they squared it off and they settled the account for 2 lakh rupees by making payment of 2 lakh. With regards to 10 lakh which is squared off, it is called squared off or repaid by way of book entry or journal entry. AO says journal entry is violation. SSC thought that this is a standard exception, the way it is given for 40A3. Matter went up to Bombay High Court. Bombay High Court also said yes, there is a violation, penalty will be leviable. Bombay High Court finally deleted the penalty, applying 273B, calling this as a reasonable cause, that okay, there is a reasonable cause. Otherwise, there would have been a duplication. One party paying 12 lakh, another party paying 10 lakh, both of them have to pay to each other, that will be duplication. Therefore, to avoid duplication, if they have squared it off by journal entry, then we give you benefit of doubt, because both these transactions were reflected in their books of accounts earlier, in balance sheet, P&L, everywhere it was reflected. Okay. However, Bombay High Court gave an indication that right now we are deleting penalty because such kind of matter has come up to us for the first time. However, next time onwards take care, this is violation, because what is allowed is only account pay check, account pay draft, ECS and prescribed electronic mode. Book entry is not an exception, therefore violation. 269 ST now. 269 ST and SU, two small section. 269 SS was applicable on loan deposit, taking of loan deposit or specified sum. 269T in connection with that was applicable in case of repayment of loan deposit or specified advance. Penalty under 271D, here penalty under 271E. 271D, 271E. Both are complementing each other. It's a package of two sections or 2 by 2, 4 sections, which is over. However, here purpose was given. The purpose of transaction is loan deposit or specified sum, loan deposit or specified advance. 269T imposes a restriction on accepting or receiving 2 lakhs or more than 2 lakhs by cash, does not say by cash, says otherwise by way of account pay check, account pay draft, ECS through bank or prescribed electronic mode. Idea is cash transaction prohibited if the amount is 2 lakh or more than 2 lakh rupees. However, here the purpose is not mentioned, therefore this could be for any purpose. Meaning thereby you are taking accepting for selling goods, providing services, sale of capital asset or any other purpose. If you accept, if you receive cash of 2 lakhs or more than 2 lakh, then that will be violation of this section. Penalty will be levied and of course penalty will be equal to entire amount of transaction. If you take 3 lakh rupees cash from somebody for any purpose, or for delivering lectures here, if I take 3 lakh rupees from JK Shah classes cash, then entire 3 lakh would be levied on me as a penalty. Let me warn you again, don't counter question me. How will anyone come to know? So if department, it comes to knowledge of department, then doesn't come to knowledge of department, then it's okay. Many people transact on a large scale basis in cash for big amounts. Department doesn't come to know. How will department come to know? It's only when search is conducted, survey is conducted under income tax. If caught, then. But in exam, you only are the income tax officer. Everything is in front of your eyes. If you see, institute ask you question, this is what has happened. Mr. X has accepted 3 lakhs cash, you have to charge penalty. No person shall receive otherwise by way of account pay check, account pay draft, ECS through bank or through other prescribed electronic modes. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen? That means taken, accepted by cash, bearer check, cross check or even by journal entry, then penalty will be levied. Now, this is the limit. Unlike 40A3, 40A3 was on outgoing cash. No person shall pay, and this section 269T, ST, 269 ST is on incoming. No person shall receive. Here the limit is more than 10,000. Here limit is 2 lakh or more than 2 lakh. There is a difference in the sign also. Greater than 10,000, that means up to 10,000 allowed. Here greater than or equal to 2 lakh, that means up to 1,99,999 allowed. Touches 2 lakh, exceeds 2 lakh, both the case violation. Okay. Now 40A3 was a daily limit. This section is not a daily limit. Government knows that people easily circumvent. How people circumvent 40A3, how people avoid 40A3. Same thing should not happen for this section. So here government has imposed limit. This is the limit per day also. It's a daily limit also. It's a limit per bill or per transaction or per invoice also. Of course, it is per person. Limit is per person. I can take 1,99,999 from multiple number of people. That's fine. If I am taking from different people, that's not a problem. From one single person, I should not take in one day for one transaction or for multiple transaction in respect of one event or one occasion. Otherwise, violation. Meaning thereby, for one function or event or occasion, if I split it up into multiple transactions, and for each transaction I take 1,99,000 cash, then also it's a violation, because this is the daily limit also. It is a limit per person per day or per person per transaction, per bill, per invoice, or it is a limit per event, even though split into multiple transactions. Otherwise, there will be penalty under 271DA. Penalty will be equal to entire amount of such receipt. If received 3 lakhs, entire 3 lakhs gone. No penalty if there was a reasonable cause. Penalty can be imposed by joint commissioner only, that is immaterial. Exceptions. Multiple exceptions are there, which government realized after introducing this section. So it says if received by government or any bank, then not a violation. So you go to a bank and put 3 lakh FD, bank receives 3 lakh cash from you, no problem, it's fine. Or transactions which are covered by 269SS, because transactions covered by 269SS already have a limit of 20,000. So if I take 3 lakh rupees of loan from somebody in cash loan, then it will result into violation of 269SS also and 269ST also. I cannot be charged penalty under both the sections, 271D also, 271DA also. Double penalty for same transaction. So if it is loan transaction or deposit transaction, then this section will supersede this section, right? And then penalty will be ultimately be levied under one section only. This is basically to avoid duplication of penalty, which is good for us. Or notified class of persons as may be notified by central government. So, government has notified couple of transactions. Number one, cash withdrawal from your own bank account. You go to bank, you are withdrawing 3 lakhs cash. So, technically you are receiving 3 lakh cash. So, after introduction of this section, government by CBDT, through CBDT, government had to clarify. No need to remember whole thing, the number, CBDT, notification number, date. Remember the exception. So, if accepted by government or any bank, then exception. Transactions covered by 269 SS will also not be subjected to 269 ST. Same way, cash withdrawal from bank account will also not be regarded as violation. Okay, then this is unimportant. Okay, or business correspondent of bank, white label automated teller machine operator, ATM operator, white label ATM operator, agent or issuer of prepaid payment instrument, all these exceptions are totally unimportant, or any company institution issuing credit cards. You can ignore them, these are not to be studied. And any receipt of award or reward from government which is exempt under 1017A, any kind of reward, Padma Bhushan, Bharat Bhushan, Raman Magsaysay, Jagdish Chandra Bose award, whatever award, or any kind of bravery or gallantry award from government. Okay. Now note, these all the transaction, all three sections, they apply not only on commercial transaction, they apply for personal purpose transaction also, which I clarified it to you. Last section 269 SU was introduced in 2019, finally postponed to 1st January 2020. That is the material. It says any person carrying on, any person means individual HUF, company, partnership firm, LLP, carrying on business and last year's turnover exceeded 50 crore. Last year's turnover, sales, gross receipt exceeded 50 crore. Then that person will have to offer to his customers one facility for payment, that now customers can pay apart from customer paying by account pay check, account pay draft, ECS through bank or prescribed electronic mode. This person, or apart from account pay check, account pay draft or ECS through bank, this concerned person having last year turnover exceeding 50 crore, like JK Shah Classes Private Limited, last year's turnover, let's say 90 crore. In such situation, they will have to allow their students, their customers to make payment by way of prescribed electronic mode. Prescribed electronic mode means 3, RuPay debit card, Bheem UPI, UPI QR code. If last year's turnover exceeded 50 crore. This applies only to business class people, does not apply to professional people. Person carrying on business, be very careful, language is very clear. Does not apply to CA firm. Suppose any CA firm has more than 50 crore gross receipts last year, they need not accept payment by UPI or Bheem or QR code or debit card. Otherwise, rule 119 AA, 3 modes are prescribed, which we are done with. Otherwise, there will be penalty equal to 5,000 per day as per section 271 DB. B2B transaction is the only exception. Those people having only B2B, business to business transaction, means not dealing with retail customers and having 95% or more of their aggregate of all receipts by way of account pay check or account pay draft or any mode other than cash, then they need not offer this UPI, QR code, etc. facility to their customer. Suppose I am Reliance Industry, I don't deal with retailers, retail customers. I don't manufacture, I refine oil. I import crude oil from Gulf countries or Russia, refine them in my Jamnagar factory refinery, and then I export or I sell them in bulk quantity. I don't sell it to customers. That means I am having only B2B transaction and 95% of my transactions are by way of, otherwise by way of cash. Then I need not offer QR code acceptance facility by QR code or Bheem UPI. Of course, Reliance Industry, what will they do by accepting QR code? They will accept by online payment, ECS. Clear about this? 5,000 penalty. Recently, there was one question on this. Generally, nowadays questions are accepted in the form of MCQ. Sheet which is provided to you contains some questions also. Okay, those questions please glance through them. Okay, some questions were repeated also. Nowadays these questions come in the form of MCQ. 3 questions I have kept. Last question, third question is on 269 SU. That's it. With that, the revision of this chapter comes to an end. See you in the next video with the next or another chapter.